I welcome the audit into three departments, particularly finance, planning, and the Department of Works by the Prime Minister. If he just isolates on three departments, it seems as a political witch hunt.
Welcome back to PNG Trends Burner. Have you heard the hot political drama between Prime Minister James Marape and his former right-hand man, Rainbo Paita? Subscribe and let's delve into the twists and turns of this latest political drama. Let's rewind a bit. Marape and Paita were once comrades in arms, pushing the gold bullion bill together. This bill aimed to establish a gold refinery in PNG, a potentially game-changing move for the economy.
To see in recent times a bill introduced into Parliament that gives effect to an undisclosed shareholders agreement between the state and the private enterprise. We have serious concerns with the proposed National Gold Corporation Bill 2022. The National Parliament cannot blindly pass such a legislation in such a form.
Not only that, Paita calls Marape chief. But things went south. A vote of no confidence, VONC, was attempted against Marape, and guess who was at the forefront of the opposition? You guessed it, Rainbo Paita. This political power struggle shattered their alliance. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Marape orders a sudden audit of three key departments: finance, Paita's former turf, national planning, and works and highways. Officially, it's about large recent expenditures, but whispers suggest it might be a political jab at Paita. Why the audit now? Some see it as a way to investigate Paita's management during his time as finance minister. Allegations of unregulated payments, lack of transparency, and preferential treatment have been swirling. Paita, however, welcomes the audit. He claims it will clear his name and promote transparency. But is this genuine, or a strategic move in this political chess game? Here is what Paita said about the James Marape-led audit on him.
I welcome the call. I think it's a good call at this time. But at the same time, I wanted to extend the audit to the Department of Treasury, to the Department of Prime Minister itself, and the various departments who have been custodian of public funds in the last 1 or 2 years, at the scope at which is allowing that audit to happen. And so that we can have a whole perspective of how funds have been spent in those various departments that were allocated a chunk of funding in the last couple of budgets, instead of just specifying on a couple of departments, such as the planning department and finance and the Department of Works. I think that the Department of Treasury, Department of PM and NEC, and the other departments should be included in the audit to give a greater perspective of how public funds have been spent, so that we can be, that audit call can be seen as a call of a prudent, transparent government who wants to account to the people how their funds have been spent for the past 3 or 4, depending on the scope of which the Prime Minister wants to take the audits back. If he just isolates on 3 departments, it seems as a political witch hunt on some of us who have left government. And I speak as Minister responsible for planning in the last 1 year, and then Minister for Planning and Finance in the last 1 year as well. So for me, as an individual and a leader in my capacity, I have nothing to hide. I welcome the audits, but I also challenge him to extend the scope of the audit. If he's looking at finance and planning and works, he should extend it to those various departments that I've mentioned as well. The second point is that when he's doing an audit, the 3 departments that he is trying to specifically zero down in this audit, they are agencies of government. And they are agencies of government who have been allocated either through the fundings that we had in PIP or recurrent operational budget. They've had fundings. And those fundings are trickled down to provinces and districts. Now, the question for him is, are you going to extend the scope of that audit to provinces and districts as well? Because finance and planning are not executing departments. They are agencies, central agencies that administer funds. And the funding goes down through and goes to districts and provinces. Now, if you really want to know if the funds are working, why can't you go a step beneath Department of Finance and Planning and Department of Works and look at how much have you been giving districts and provinces and extend the audit to provinces and districts and see if they are actually using their money and there's a bit of tangible development, value for money projects happening in those districts. Take, for example, extend that audit further to Fichavan district and see if funds going to the districts are being executed in a way that people are seeing what it's meant for. Extended funding to provincial governments. Morobe provincial government is there. Ella provincial government is there. Southernlands provincial government is there. Every provincial government that have been receiving funds are there. Why don't you extend that scope to all the provinces and districts that we have throughout the country so that people can appreciate the fullness of the funding that's been expended from agencies like Department of Works, Department of Finance, and Planning. Now, if you don't do that, the whole country will see there's a political hunt on someone such as myself, who's the minister responsible for the two of the ministries that you've named. But if you extend the scope, the population and the people of Papua New Guinea will appreciate that you want to see what provinces and districts have been doing when funding has gone down to those districts. And it's not just a witch hunt on people who've been holding positions and you want to zero down and find something wrong with that. So my challenge to the Prime Minister now is, good call. I welcome the call. Extend the audit to other departments. What's stopping you from extending the audit to other departments who have been allocated chunks of funding in this budget, in the last budget, and the record budgets, which I was with the government, and we passed those budgets. Extend the audit to those. And then two, go a step further into auditing funds received by districts and provinces to see if there is value for money for what we are funding through those agencies, and not just auditing agencies which are sort of a bust up for funding just to go there, stop, and then we transit and transmit those fundings to provinces and districts and other agencies that actually execute and implement projects and programs on the ground. So don't stop there. Go beyond and see if there's value for money on record budgets that we keep passing. So for me, I welcome the audit. Personally, for me, I have nothing to hide when I took office as Minister for Finance and Planning and Finance itself. So I welcome the audit, but I just wanted to extend.
Papua New Guinea grew up in those apartments. No having big man, baby James Marape. Price book, I ego on top. Oh, yeah, baby, sim school, and know that what man. There's no job for them.
This whole situation raises questions. Is the audit truly about financial accountability, or one of Marape as a political weapon to make life hell for those in the opposition? With the VONC case still in court, the timing seems suspicious. Let us know in the comments, what are your thoughts on the audit? Is it a genuine effort or a political ploy? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on the latest PNG developments.
No having big man, baby James Marape. Price book, I ego on top.